These are the kind of manhwa you open for one chapter, and suddenly it's 5 a.m. Every story on this list has an overpowered main character that just keeps getting more insane the deeper you go. Let's dive in. At number 10, we have Solo Max Level Newbie. The story follows Kang Jin-hyuk, a gaming streamer who spent more than 11 years mastering a game called Tower of Trials. He eventually becomes the only player to fully clear it, learning every hidden mechanic, trap, secret item, and strategy inside the tower better than anyone else alive. But after dedicating his entire life to the game, its popularity suddenly dies, destroying his career and leaving him with nothing. Right when he prepares to move on, the impossible happens. The Tower of Trials suddenly appears in the real world, forcing humanity into deadly survival challenges where every floor must be cleared within a time limit. While the entire world falls into panic and confusion, Jin-hyuk is the only person who completely understands how the tower works. Instead of struggling like everyone else, he immediately takes control of the situation. Using years of experience, he clears stages efficiently, manipulates enemies, and stays far ahead of every other player from the very beginning. What makes this manhwa so addictive is how confident the MC feels. It fully embraces the fantasy of an overpowered character dominating a dangerous world through pure knowledge, preparation, and skill. At number 9, we have Survival Story of a Sword King in a Fantasy World. The story follows Ryu Hanbin, an ordinary man who suddenly gets transported into a fantasy world through a system designed to help newcomers level up and adapt. But something goes horribly wrong during the process, trapping him inside the tutorial zone for years without allowing him to progress normally. Forced to endlessly fight monsters just to survive, Hanbin slowly becomes unbelievably strong through pure experience, endurance, and non-stop combat. While everyone else in the world grows stronger through levels and skills, he develops terrifying physical strength simply by surviving conditions no normal person could endure. Eventually, he finally escapes the tutorial area and enters the real world. But by that point, he's already become something completely abnormal compared to everyone else around him. What makes this manhwa stand out is how earned the MC's strength feels. Hanbin doesn't become overpowered instantly. His power comes from years of isolation, suffering, and brutal survival, which makes every victory feel incredibly satisfying. Overall, it balances action, comedy, world building, and character development extremely well while constantly keeping the story entertaining. At number 8, we have Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. The story follows Kim Doksha, an ordinary office worker whose favorite web novel suddenly becomes reality after he finishes reading it. The novel was ignored by almost everyone else, but Doksha stayed with it until the very last chapter, meaning he's now the only person alive who truly knows how the story ends. As deadly scenarios begin appearing in the real world, humanity is forced into brutal survival games filled with monsters, disasters, and impossible challenges. While everyone else struggles to understand what's happening, Doksha already knows the hidden rules, future events, and powerful characters connected to the story. Unlike most overpowered MCS, Doksha doesn't rely entirely on raw strength. Instead, he survives through strategy, manipulation, alliances, and calculated decisions that slowly reshape the future itself. What makes this manhwa so engaging is the tension created by constantly changing scenarios. Even with future knowledge, Doksha can never fully predict everything, which keeps every arc intense and unpredictable. Overall, it's one of the smartest and most well-balanced manhwa ever made. At number 7, we have Return of the Crazy Demon. The story follows Yi Zaha, a martial artist completely obsessed with battle, chaos, and becoming stronger no matter what. After stealing a powerful martial art technique, he's hunted down by numerous enemies and eventually dies during the conflict. But instead of staying dead, Yi Zaha suddenly wakes up in the past before everything went wrong. With all his memories and combat experience still intact, he's given a second chance at life. Unlike most regression protagonists, Yi Zaha doesn't try to become calmer, wiser, or more heroic after returning. He fully embraces his insane personality while using his future knowledge to become even more dangerous than before. What makes this manhwa stand out is how unpredictable the MC feels in every scene. He's chaotic, blunt, violent, and completely unfiltered, which turns even simple conversations into entertaining moments. At the same time, the action scenes are intense and incredibly satisfying because Yi Zaha backs up all his madness with real strength and skill. Overall, the combination of comedy, martial arts, and absolute insanity makes this one of the most unique overpowered MC manhwa out there. At number 6, we have Murim Login, and this one starts in a world that's already changed. Gates have opened across the planet. Monsters pour out endlessly, and the only people capable of stopping them are hunters. Strength decides your worth. And at the very bottom of that system is Jin Tae-kyung, an F-rank hunter. He struggles just to climb a few stairs, gasping for breath, barely holding on. No talent, no recognition, just effort. Back in his small room, he stares at a strange capsule. Old, worn out, and completely ignored by everyone. He found it on the street thinking he could sell it for some money. "This is trash," his friend says. But Tae-kyung doesn't agree. Still, reality hits harder. He's broke, he's exhausted, and then he is already fired. 7 years of effort, gone in an instant. Everything he built disappears. So when he looks back at the capsule, it's no longer curiosity. It's desperation. He opens it. Inside, there's only a manual. ARC 2020, the most realistic simulator. At first, it sounds ridiculous, until he reads the warning. If you die in the game, You die in real life. For a moment, he pauses. But then he sighs. Whatever. Because when reality gives you nothing, even danger feels like a chance. So he gets inside, puts on the headset, and closes his eyes. The system begins. Player Jin Taekyung has been registered. Would you like to enter the world of Murim? But he doesn't answer. He's already asleep. So the system decides for him. And just like that, he enters a completely different world. A world of martial arts and warriors who live and die by the sword. Murim. And this is where the story truly begins to expand. Because Murim Login isn't just about a weak hunter entering a game, it's about a man who gets a second path to grow stronger in a completely different system. In the real world, Taekyung is stuck at the bottom, but inside Murim, he has the chance to build strength from scratch. Every fight, every technique, every experience inside that world starts shaping him. And the most important part, that growth doesn't stay there. It carries over, which means the stronger he becomes in Murim, the stronger he becomes in reality. This creates a unique loop where two worlds begin to influence each other. One modern, one martial, both equally important. And Taekyung stands right in the middle of them. What makes Murim Login stand out is exactly this dual world progression. Instead of following a typical dungeon leveling story, it blends hunter systems with Murim cultivation, creating something that feels fresh even after hundreds of chapters. The pacing stays engaging because there's always something happening in either world. The action is fast, impactful, and easy to follow. And the comedy hits at the right moments, making Taekyung a genuinely entertaining main character rather than just another overpowered protagonist. With 250+ chapters, the story has had plenty of time to develop its world, expand its power system, and build consistent character growth. Overall, Murim Login earns a strong 8.7 out of 10. If you enjoy action, adventure, and comedy with a unique blend of modern systems and Murim storytelling, this is definitely one you should have on your list. Thank you for completing the video. We'll be back with more awesome picks for part 2.